So this is a drive and dive. What this means is either the conditions have been so appalling in the last while that we're just completely desperate and are looking for a patch of water to climb into and find some kind of frolicky joy, or the conditions are so magnificent that we are spoilt for choice. So we drive along and we look for the best waters to get into, and it may mean that we end up with 1, 2, or 3 dives in a day because of how beautiful it is. This particular day is of the former. We were so desperate for water and had not been in for weeks and weeks and weeks. So coming round and getting a first glimpse of Fisher Beach and the water, our hearts just nearly burst with joy because the water was still. And look at that, it's super low tide. It's got a lovely colour in it, and there are no waves, and surface chop is non-existent. And then looking out towards Glencairn, that's another indicator. If there are waves crashing against the tidal pool wall, we know that we're probably in for a bit of a bumpy ride, but today it is beautiful and calm. And then we also look out across Long Beach, and this is always the fallback. If everywhere else is too rough or wild, then Long Beach really does offer the perfect little harbour for us to find some kind of loveliness in. It's protected by the mountain and the naval base, very busy of late. But we ended up going to A-Frame, and it's in the Boulders Conservancy, and one of the most special places to dive. It's because it is in a protected space. It means that you're not wrestling with fishermen or fishing boats. You've got the water to yourself mostly, and the marine life is beautiful. In this picture on the far left at the top, there's a little triangular rock. That's the A-frame rock, and then you've got these 2 large boulders in the front, in the middle, and they form the wall of the aquarium-like conditions. As we arrived, you can see there's a boat on the horizon. That's the whale watching boat, and they were actually tracking a whale, and these 3 divers were in already. And in fact, there was a whale about 20 meters offshore. We're so excited, thinking that we're going to get our first whale encounter, but it swam off. And then you strike out from the shoreline, and you swim out about 20 meters, and you look back and you feel as if you are a world away. Suddenly you've left the world behind, and this is below you. This particular day, it wasn't crystal clear, but it was clearer than we've seen in absolute ages. But it didn't matter. It's quite milky. But even so, the light and the movement of the water and the swaying kelp fronds, it all just transports you to another place, and you leave the world behind for some time. You're nothing but present. When I first started diving, I didn't realize exactly what I was looking at, and of course memory served when I realized, yes, I'd learned a long time ago that an anemone is actually an animal. And then suddenly finding out and it dawning on me that almost everything I was looking at is actually an animal, a creature. The feather stars, the brittle stars, the sea fans, hydroids, urchins, sponges, all clamoring together and growing together in clusters of just beautiful coexistence. Even those dreaded urchins make such a lovely display. There's this anemone. And this creature has the unfortunate name of worm, but it's not dissuading it from being fabulous. And these are always such a delight. The strawberry anemones, fields of strawberry anemones, each as big as your thumbnail. And then feeling that you finally can't do any more, coming out to shore and looking back. And this is such an important part. It's just it's a moment as you leave the water and look back, and you look back on what and where you've just been, and there's such a sense of joy and accomplishment and realignment.